Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome back to the show. Today's show is all about fear. So let's talk about the different sides of fear. Because if you really think about fear, it could be used as fuel. Have you guys ever used fear as fuel? And then on the other hand, fear can sometimes stop you. It just puts you into paralysis and stops you from taking action. Have you ever experienced that where you were so consumed with thought and fear and worry, concern that you couldn't move, that you were just kind of like stuck in thinking? Well, this show is for you because we are going to break down fear, how to use it, because let's be honest, can we actually prevent fear? Should I really think about this? Are you able to prevent fear? Should you turn fear off? Like, what if you just never had fear again? That would be very scary, and chances are you wouldn't survive. We need fear. Fear is an indicator that something is going on. Fear is your friend. Like, think about you are walking down a dark alley and you see a shadow. Whoa, fear. You feel fear. Isn't that good? So you know not to keep walking towards the shadow so that you know to run to the side or turn around and go the other way. This fear is a great indicator. The reason most people don't want to feel fear is because they're dysregulated. And so when they have fear, their body gets this release, this chemical release, and it puts them into panic. And then you kind of go into survival, and then you can no longer use the frontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that makes decisions. It kind of goes offline and you go into emergency mode. That's kind of like the negative side of fear that people see. It's just that you don't understand it. Once you understand that fear is used for you to survive, then you can actually use fear the way that you want and need to use it to get what you want. So, fear to most people with a dysregulated system is a bad thing, right? They just see it as a bad thing. It doesn't feel good. They don't take action. They go into paralysis. And that is actually a reaction or a response to the dysregulation. It's not to the fear. So once you fully understand it, then you can make better decisions. You can pause in the moment, and then you can avoid the thinking cycle, because this thinking cycle is an actual circuit that pulls you under. It reduces your ability. It minimizes your power, because when you're stuck in thinking, you can't take action. I hope that makes sense. So how can we use fear? Kim, what the heck are you talking about? Let me tell you, my friend, if you are afraid that you're not going to be able to pay your bills, wouldn't that motivate you to go to work and make some money? If you were afraid that your kids might do something inappropriate, wouldn't that put you into action and prevention? Yeah, fear's a good thing. We need fear. We want fear. Fear is an appropriate emotion. When the body is dysregulated and you go into panic and fear and then paralysis, then it's a problem. Because the thing you're most afraid of, you could likely create, but not because of fear, but because of your reaction or the control that you do not have when the emotion of fear appears. This is a deep dive into fear. So Let's look at a couple of ways that you could use fear. I am afraid that I get too old and run out of time to do the things that I want to create in this life. Don't you think that's a good thing? Like right now, I'm 57 years old and I am using fear of running out of time as a motivator. That gets me moving. Someone asked me yesterday, we did a Grow Your Business Challenge. And first question of the community was, Kim, how do you stay in this? Why do you keep doing this? I just don't understand what keeps you motivated. And, my answer was really simple and it was easy for me to come up with the answer. I was in a bind in my younger years and I couldn't find the help that I needed. And that struggle and that lack of resource, I set it as my purpose. I set an intention that I was going to figure this out and then I was going to teach it to others. And that satisfies and fulfills me. And I'm looking at my age and I'm looking at what I've done and I don't believe I've done enough and I want to do more. So I know some of you are going to say, oh my God, you have 5 kids, 12 grandkids, been married 30 something years, been in business, you've done it all, you've been everywhere. Listen, I have not done as much as I can do. That scares me. That I'm missing opportunity, I'm missing time, and my purpose is not being achieved. I'm not reaching the amount of people I want to reach. I'm not helping the amount of people that I want to help. And I fear running out of time. And that is a motivator. It puts a little fire under me and it gets me moving because that fear of running out of time and not living my purpose, it's big enough to get me motivated and get me moving. Here's another one, in case that one doesn't relate to you, because I know some of you say, I don't know what my purpose is. How do you find out what your purpose is? I don't know. I don't understand. Well, it's pretty easy. It's the desire to serve and to give and to be and to do. Be, do, have. It's like it's your purpose is actually we can help you. We can help you figure that out. Here's the other example. I have a fear about getting older, being unhealthy, and dying unable. Like I have this, it's real. It's a real fear. I grew up in Louisiana, lived there for all of my life. And we are like the bottom of the scale for the most unhealthy people on the planet. Like, well, I'll stay in the United States. And we kind of like at a little war with Mississippi. We go to the bottom and the other one goes to the top. So we are the unhealthiest state. And so I see a lot of example of what I don't want. That scares me. It scares me that I have not been able to create what I want to create in my community. It scares me that I'm going to become the people that I see that are unhealthy with like really big ankles and oxygen tanks, and they're shopping and like they can't get around and they're struggling. These things scare me. Maybe it's just me. I am afraid to lose my health. And that motivates me to get up, to go to the gym, to stay active, to walk, to eat healthy, to take supplements. So the fear of what I witness, what I see, needing help, not being able to do for myself, like, oh my God, that scares me. It makes me as afraid as not hitting my purpose. Matter of fact, the two go hand in hand. Because as time keeps passing and I'm like slowly running out of time and my health naturally degresses, don't you agree? We just live on planet Earth where gravity, you're not going to stop things from falling down. It's just the way it works. So we got to do extra work to keep things up, to keep muscle built up, to keep our heart rates going, to keep our body functioning at optimal, because after 30, things start to decline unless you are going against it. So it's a very natural thing. I'm not being negative, not believing in an age thing being a bad thing. I'm just saying that we live on planet Earth in linear time. Time is of the essence, and also gravity. So we've got those two things. Well, that creates urgency in me because I have a fear to succumbing to time and a reduction in health. And I use those to move me forward. So that's like the answer to the question, what is my purpose? Why do I do what I do? Why do I keep showing up? Why haven't I quit yet? Why is this podcast going on I think it's 8 years? Like, why do I keep showing up week after week, even though I don't get like 1 million downloads a week? Like, why do I keep doing it? Because one person is going to listen to this and it's going to ignite some hope and some purpose and some passion. And it's going to show them that they're not alone, because many, many, many of you are sitting in an environment of people who have given up. And there's no one there to motivate you. There's no one there to inspire you. There's no one there showing you something else. And that I've taken on as my job. So if you're listening to this, it's because I feel compelled to do this. I feel summoned by my right as a human, as a spiritual being, to do this. I feel like it's a calling for me. And I get responses every once in a while. I got one last week, and it's like, you're the first person I ever heard talk about relationships and what I heard on your podcast last week. I've never heard anyone else speak that way. And it really makes me better understand myself and my desires and my beliefs. And now I see I'm not the only one who thinks that way. Thank you. And that's what it's for. That's why I keep showing up week after week. That's why I keep speaking to the camera, talking to myself, listening to what comes out and through me by the desire that is in me. That's what I create. This is a creation, right? This podcast is a creation. My purpose is a creation. My desire to do more is creation. It's birthing life. It's moving things, especially if it can move another human. I mean, geez, I am so afraid to be purposeless, to be useless, to not have made a difference. Like, I think that's an insult to our Creator. It's an insult to ourselves. And it's a disgrace to our ability. If we can, why wouldn't we? You're going to feel a lot better when you're in action. You're going to feel a lot better when you're achieving, when you're creating, when you're doing, when you're winning. The reason most of you have quit, it's because you were doing and doing and doing and doing and doing with the wrong intention, and you weren't winning, and it gets exhausting. It's like just running on a treadmill and not getting anywhere. But once you are running on the road and you start getting to beautiful mountains and valleys and hills, and you start getting some wins, you're going to be more inclined to keep doing. And so for some of you, it's finding the right thing to do, relieving some of these old traumas that are burdening you, that you can't get beyond, that keep like bringing you back down. So if you're experiencing ups and downs, up and down, up and down, and you notice that there is a lot of fear in the down, and maybe even in the up, but you're noticing there's a lot of fear, and that fear makes you start thinking, and that thinking puts you into inaction, then we need to take a look at what is causing and creating that's keeping you down in the down cycle, so that we can release that burden so you can come up and stay up. Because the thing is not to be doing up and down, up and down, and up and down. It's like to find this even keel where you're gradually going on an upscale. Can't let fear stop you. You have to find another way to use fear, because we don't want to eliminate fear. We don't want to get rid of fear. Fear is an indicator that something is off, something is wrong. You need to be aware. You need to notice. We need fear. Think about this. If you're like, you're afraid that you're not going to have enough money to retire, that's going to motivate you to deal with your money better, right? It's going to motivate you to make more money. It's going to motivate you to do something different than what you're doing. We want that. If you took your fear detectors down, you just took it off, you have no more indicators, you have no more fear, then if you saw something run out on the road and you felt that adrenaline, that fear, you would just like run over it. You don't want that, I promise you. You want the indicators. You just want to know when they're appropriate for your situation. You want to know where it's coming from. Like, listen, we can sit right here and I can just start telling you this big, scary story about age, about money, about the body. And I could like instill fear in you, right? You would feel fear and nothing actually happened. So that's how we know it's inappropriate fear. But then you could, like when I look at the health of people and I look at my age and I look at the time and I look at what I'm doing in my activity level, those are good indicators. Like I should be afraid that if I sit on my butt for the next 30 years, I don't do anything, I'm not in action, and I'm not eating well, I'm not checking in on my health, then yeah, I'm probably should be afraid. So if you are not living your purpose, if you are not in action, if you're not eating well and you're not sleeping well and you're not moving your body and you're not doing something that matters to you, you should be afraid. That's a great indicator. The great indicator, fear. So it's false evidence appearing real, right? Very often what we feel is not even real. But sometimes you guys need to feel it and use it. Don't turn it off, turn it up. Like when I look at some of the cases that I'm afraid of, these are people I know and love and respected, and they were like vibrant and healthy and young, and all of a sudden, like, whoa, what happened? They gave up on life. They succumbed to the issues and the problems, and they didn't have the tools to handle them, and they just let life beat them up. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Whew, I got to get moving now. So it motivates me. It inspires me. I use the fear. Don't let fear go wasted. All fear, just use it all. If it's an indicator of you need to be cautious, you need to be careful, use it. If it's an indicator of something that could possibly happen so you could prevent it, use it. All right, that's what I have for you this week. Fear is a great indicator. Don't try to turn it off. How can you turn it around? How can you use it for good? And how can you use it to put you into action and get moving? All right, my friends, have an amazing week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.